So it's a slightly different episode of 2 Minute Tuesday this week. If you are lucky enough to live in the Hondon Valley, or even if you pass through, drive through, you'll notice that we have mile after mile of grapevines. And some of these grapes you'll see hanging directly from the vines, and some of them will be in bags. And a lot of people don't really know why some are bagged and some are open. So we're very, very lucky. We have a friend, somebody that we know called Javi, and he is a grape farmer here in the Hondon Valley. And he very kindly offered some of his time to explain in quite interesting detail about the process of the grapes that we have here in the Hondon Valley. So we took him up on his offer, and hopefully we've got a really informative video for you to watch about one of the major crops that we have growing here. So please enjoy the video. We're also going to do a version of the video that's going to be totally in Spanish. So if your Spanish is up for it, then there'll be a full-length video that didn't need any translation available for you to watch. So enjoy this special episode of 2 Minute Tuesday. An awful lot of work went into it. Well done, Mila, for all the translation for us, and please enjoy.
Hola, buenos días. Soy Javi Barbero. Soy agricultor y me dedico a hacer la producción de uva de mesa embolsada aquí en la zona de Hondón de las Nieves.
So we're asking Javi what kind of grape he grows and why. And here he is explaining that he's cultivating a type of grape that is called Donna Maria. These are white grapes, and it is the most common variety of grape that is grown in this area. There is also a dark grape variety as well, which he also grows. Here Javi is explaining that these are the varieties that give the biggest production. The plants produce a lot, and it's a variety that is considered very easy to grow and doesn't need any special treatment. Javi is saying that this is one of the easiest varieties of grapes to cultivate. We then asked Javi if the grapes have any seeds. Of the two varieties that grow, they do have seeds, but not many. The white ones have less, and the dark ones have no more than 3 or 4 seeds, and they're not very big, and they don't really disturb you when you're eating them. Many people will just eat the grapes as they are. So we've asked Javi to describe the process of growing grapes, and he's explained that we more or less start in December or January with pruning. After the harvest of the grapes, we leave the plant. We then cut as close to the main trunk of the plant, leaving only a few centimetres of the main branches. The branches that produced well this year will not really have any production next year, so it's better to cut them so that the plant can concentrate on new growth. We then put all of the cuttings here in the middle of the alleys. In the past, many people would burn the old branches. However, right now there are very strict burning restrictions in the area. So we shred the branches and they leave them here to mulch. Then the branches that we have left, we attach those to the growing frames, and this is the only mechanised part of the process. We do this with a special tool. We then leave nature to its course and let them grow. When the little grapes appear, we decide which ones to leave and which ones to cut, the same as we did with the branches as they continue to grow. In and around mid-June, we clear the space around the grapes from unnecessary leaves so that the grapes are exposed to more sun and air. And then around the beginning of July, we start adding the bags. And then we leave them to grow, simply watering them and helping the plant with fertilizers. So here Javi is explaining that they always have a really good idea of when the grapes are going to be ready to be harvested. He normally considers the beginning of September as the start of the harvesting period, and basically the whole month of September is the best time to harvest. Most importantly, the grapes should have the right colour. We start the harvest when there are enough grapes to be collected in one go. The remaining grapes that aren't harvested are left on the vine. The harvest lasts for about a month, and they keep coming back to harvest individual sections of the vineyard at a particular time. So we're now talking to Javi about the collection, and he's explaining that when they do come to collect the grapes, they normally come 2 or 3 times with a container for the grapes. They will check the grapes to check that the colour is right, and then they collect the grapes that are ready at that time to be harvested. The next time that they come will be in about 8 or 10 days, and they will then collect the next batch. It all depends on how busy the company is when they come to collect the grapes, and that sometimes they can collect more on one or less on another. The bags themselves actually serve as little greenhouses. The light is spread or diffused on all of the grapes inside more evenly than if they weren't covered. This helps the grapes and they mature at the same time. Also, the bags provide protection from birds and some illnesses. There are varieties of grapes that can be left without bags, but this particular variety of grape, the Donna Maria, needs bags because the sun and the humidity and the weather conditions would cause the grapes to have spots on them, which is not aesthetically good. The dark grapes or different varieties can in fact be grown without the bags. Some farmers will choose to cover the whole vineyard, creating a big greenhouse so that the birds cannot come in and eat the grapes. Also, with the bags, the grapes are maturing more slowly. The bag basically creates a safe environment in which the grapes can prosper, with minimal interference from birds and reducing pesticides required. Next we asked Javi if the grapes that are grown are organic or ecologically produced, and he said sadly our grapes are not organic. However, we are using methods that are much better for the environment, and that each year we are improving and adapting, and we have a growing system that is more ecological and better for the environment. This is something that's improving year on year. Ecological grapes are grown with different rules and more restrictions. Also, the grapes themselves are going to be slightly smaller and the plants are going to be less productive. The system that we're working with gives us very, very strict rules and obligations, but they're not as strict as the organic regime. So now we're asking Javi about how he sells the grapes, and Javi explains that we don't sell directly to the consumer. They use a system where there is a broker or a middleman, and he will buy directly from the producers, and then he will sell it to the supermarkets and the places that are interested in purchasing the grapes. Javi doesn't go direct to shops or the market himself. The broker will come to the producer and they will collect and look after the grapes from the time of collection at harvest time. The grapes then can go anywhere. They can go on the market here in Spain, or they can go abroad depending on who the broker sells them to. And finally we speak to Javi about water. Javi here is explaining that we have an irrigation system for the whole of the vineyard, which not only supplies water, but we can also fertilise the plants with this system as well. We have a conscious eye to use the minimum water possible at all times. Any rain that does come before April gives the good amount of water for the plants, and we're really happy with this. But later rain can actually damage the grapes. Any rain in September is also good for the plants. When the grapes are in their white bags, they are actually protected against the rain, so we don't mind the rain as much at this point.